me, I will give you the list where you can sign up and become a BPO agent, which the BPOs eventually turn into listings. So my email address is msullivan, for all of you that are looking for the bank list, at lasvegasrealtyworld.com. I will give you the list, and what you can do is go ahead and register for these websites. Some of them will just be strictly BPOs, some of them will be banks that have only REO listings. The key is having all of your paperwork together. You're going to need your license, your Crest insurance or whatever insurance company you're using, your W-9, all of your zip codes that you service. So for those of you that work in large areas like Los Angeles, make sure you have a list of all the zip codes that you are interested in servicing, and having references are great. Even if you have an in-house lender that can give you a letter of recommendation, that you send a lot of buyers his way, that will be something that the asset managers will look for. Consistency is also key with those applications. You can't just submit your application and pray that somebody's going to call you for a BPO or pray that they're going to give you a listing. You have to actually follow up and be consistent, and if there's just an email address, let's just say it's newagent@vendormanagement.com, email that particular that person or whoever it is on a regular basis until they recognize you and they can't forget your name, so you do get added to that list. Another great way to get into the REO business is to be a short sale agent. So let's say you list a short sale and the first and the second happens to be with Countrywide. You start working with the loss mitigation department, you get your foot in the door, and you can put together a great relationship with that loss mitigation agent. They'll know how to get you in touch with the appropriate person over at Countrywide. And the good news is, what was that? Bank of America, I'm sorry.
Countrywide is dead.
Yeah, they just changed like 2 days ago. I'm still getting used to that. A couple of really important websites that most of the banks use are reotrans.com. For those of you that are not registered, you need to register immediately, because that is the portal that they use to distribute all of these listings and the tasks. You can also get certified in REO Trans. I don't recommend spending the $500 for the platinum. The $200 upgrade will be fine. And I think they charge you 3 cents per zip code, and it's well worth it to pay for that on a monthly basis. So you can let that asset manager know you're already registered with REO Trans, where they filter the listings. Another one is ResNet. A lot of large banks use ResNet as well. And that's, I would say, REO Trans is number 1, ResNet's number 2. You can also become certified. And there's REO classes or seminars, conventions I should say, that you can attend that will teach you the fundamentals from A to Z, how to take a listing, what the process is. There's a trash out that's involved, you know, taking all the trash and all of the personal property out of the home and getting it ready for the listing. And that's a great way for you to rub elbows with the right people at these conventions. Believe 5-star is somewhere in the $300 to $500 range to get certified. A lot of the banks will pay your upfront costs, like you mentioned, the utility bills. Countrywide turns on all of the utilities for the agents now. They recognize that these costs can be $15,000, $20,000, $25,000, and the typical agent cannot afford it. So they do turn on the utilities for you. And if you have challenges, you just let your asset manager know, and they can have the accounting department cut a check for your HOA demands, which can be in the $2,000 to $3,000 range. So just let your asset manager know that challenge. And in the beginning stages, you're going to have a very small book of REO, so you can build your business, make sure you save so you can cover for the properties that you know that they're not willing to pay the upfront costs. And I would say, you know, the most important reason for a broker to become an REO agent is the leads that it generates for your buyer's agents. So you have all of your Realty World signs out there. You know, we get calls on a daily basis on all of our listings, and even if they're sold, we still use those leads and bring those buyers in and let them know we have other properties that are available. And the buyer's agents can work those leads for you. So it's a great tool for generating buyer's leads. So you're not only working the listing side of it, you're working the buyer side of it. So just to wrap it up, I would say consistency on your application is key. They get thousands of applications a day. They're not going to remember who you are, and staying consistent with one particular person that handles the application will be key to your success. So just stay consistent, stay positive, and you will get on one of the two or the list, and that's really all you need. You can have, there's the guys that have the 500 REO listings, and if you have 500 overpriced REO listings, which some of these third-party banks are not reasonable with their prices, you're not going to be moving those assets. You can honestly have a book of 40 or 50 REO listings that are priced well and consistently moving them, and you can actually do better than the guy that has the 500 overpriced listings, in my opinion. So having that smaller book can almost be an advantage to you because you can manage and maintain. And one last tip, when you're working with your asset managers, the key is they want to work with you. They don't want to work with your assistant and your team of REO agents that you've put together. So being accessible by telephone, email, you have to have your BlackBerries, you have to be able to respond to the tasks immediately, and you have to be able to take a look at all of your properties that are available and really know what's going on with each and every property. That's what asset managers are looking for. They hire you as the realtor, as the expert, not your assistant. So when you're going out and you're making your pitch, having those assistants as a tool to help you get the listing sold is great, but don't tell them that you have a team that's going to handle all of this business. They want to know that they're hiring you, the expert.